We've been getting questions recently within our AEO Collective regarding this module here, the How Consistent Are AI Responses module. There's a lot of data in here, and we've been getting questions about what insights can be gleaned from this data. So we just figured we'd shoot this quick video, just go through kind of the main things that we got from this module of data collection. There's really just probably 4 separate main points to make about this data. We'll start with the most important, which is AI engines give away their sources of research as far as how they determine their recommended answers to bottom funnel queries. They show the actual lists of websites they use and scrape content from in order to determine the answers they give. So this is a huge cheat code. Unlike SEO, Google algorithms have been under penalty of death, Google employees have been kept to a high level of high demand of secrecy, and SEOs have been guessing at their algorithms for years. Now we can learn, or we can guess pretty confidently, that new content matters, unique, fresh content, that building backlinks matters, that, on-site optimization strategies work, but nobody knows exactly how the algorithms are set, and so we're guessing. At the end of the day, we're guessing as to what we need to do to our websites and to our brands in order to crack that top 10 of Google organic rankings. With the LLMs, they tell us, and there's a lot that we can learn from it. So for the sake of keeping this video under several hours long, we'll just focus on a couple of different areas. Let's start with the e-commerce section and ChatGPT. And we can see here, if we go down here, these are all the citations that ChatGPT used to answer the question of, what was the query? The query was, what is the best website to purchase beekeeping equipment? The citations used, as you can see here, were actually brand-owned and managed websites. A lot of them at the top as far as the most mentions. These are all brands. The majority of the most often cited research URLs are branded websites where they're actually selling products. Now I know I'm not showing this, but what we found was a lot of them were blog posts, which just creates a whole strategy. If you're within an area of business that's not too competitive, you can actually build up enough authority to your brand and to your website to the point where the LLMs will use you as a research citation. You can now create blog posts, let's just say a top 10 list of the top websites to purchase beekeeping equipment at, and put your company at number 1. And the research, or the LLMs, will actually use this data and you'll come up as a branded answer. I'll show in a little while the crossover between becoming a research citation and the number of times you become a recommended branded answer. Now, by contrast, switching over to local business ChatGPT, we ran a query regarding HVAC. What's the best HVAC provider in Seattle, Washington? It was something like that. And you can see, again, a lot of the top answers are brands: Bob Heating, Brennan Heating, SeattleHeating.com, Olson Energy, BeaconPlumbing.net. But then you have Angie's List, you have BBB, Yelp. A lot of the most often cited research citations are, again, branded websites. Now, switching back over to e-commerce, but for a different query, regarding what's the best mushroom coffee available. You can see here, very few, if any, of the most often cited research URLs are branded sites. These are all blogs. The great majority are blogs, and then there's Food and Wine, Vogue, Bonappetit.com, those really authoritative sites, but no branded websites. Then again, switching back to local, different query about what's the best pizza place in Miami. No branded websites. MiamiandBeaches.com, Timeout, TripAdvisor, Thrill List, Yelp, Zagat, Miami Herald, Food Network, OpenTable. So you need to do your own research to your niche of business, run as many queries as you can, and pay close attention to the research citations and the types of URLs they are, and do so across each platform. We focus here, as you probably know, on ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Gemini currently. So you want to do the same thing and just make sure across all 3 you have a good sense of what's being cited and what's not. Okay, switching gears to the next point. I mentioned we'd take a look at this. It's brand mentions versus citation mentions. Okay, back to local search here in our conclusion section where we wrap up all of the data and kind of make all the points that we need to make. You can see we just grabbed these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 brands and showed how many brand mentions versus how many times they were referenced as a research citation. And you can see they're pretty even, except for this one is a little bit off. But remember, pizza had very little branded answers or branded citations. This just shows that your strategy, your AEO strategy, should be to rank as a research citation. Rank, I use rank in air quotes. But to become authoritative enough that you're a citation used to determine answers to queries. Once you do that, your chances of being then a brand mention go up significantly. Plus, exposure on both sides, because citations get traffic too. They're clickable links, and you can actually get traffic just by being a research citation versus being a brand mention. Obviously, this is the ultimate goal of acquiring AI traffic, but your strategy should be to build up enough authority to be this first, then this next. Switching over to e-commerce, we see the same thing. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different brands, how often they were cited as a source, and how often they became recommended branded answers. Just hammering home the same point across 2 different industries or verticals of business. This is just a small point, but an interesting one. Brands with no traditional website presence, they don't have a website. They're selling on Amazon, whatever the case might be. You can see here that they are referenced via YouTube videos or social media, Vita Beekeeping, Four Sigmatic, frequently found through third-party reviews, Hawaii Coffee Company, mentioned via Amazon listings and shopping platforms, Pure Airmax, reference from Facebook and aggregator reviews. This is just a small point that unlike SEO, which was really website heavy as far as on-site optimization, published content, and your inbound backlinks, you can actually achieve AI traffic without even having a website. It's kind of crazy, but your off-site brand presence and the authority you build up on all of the multiple third-party platforms, review sites, directories, forums, as long as the brand sentiment is positive and you have enough exposure, the LLMs are scraping these platforms consistently, and you could build up enough authority without even having a website to get AI traffic. All right, just hopping over to SaaS here and the conclusion metrics to SaaS, just hammering home the point that several of the brands cited or discussed did not have high-ranking or traditional SEO-optimized websites. Some didn't have dedicated sites at all, relying instead on social profiles, listing on comparison blogs, YouTube videos, or comment threads. And these are SaaS platforms. Shocking to me. But it supports the key insight that being discussed externally across multiple platforms is far more important than just maintaining an SEO-optimized website. We'll move on. I should have mentioned earlier, we're tracking consistency testing across 5 areas. Everything we do in the AEO Collective is around 5 areas of business. E-commerce, local business, enterprise-level lead generation, SaaS platforms, and then digital marketing agencies, because a lot of our members are digital marketers. They own agencies. We want to see across the agency space what the data is. So going to the conclusion section of digital marketing agencies, the data made the point that a lot of the recommended answers and the research citations in the agency space were agencies that had very little Google presence. Their websites weren't ranking in the top 10 for either major or, in some cases, long-tail keyword phrases. They didn't have a ton of organic traffic coming in. They didn't have high DA ratings. They didn't have high referring domain counts. A lot of times, they didn't even have a whole lot of published or indexed content. But what they did have was a strong external presence and some other things that we can get into. But this proves the point that AEO is wide open. I mean, that's AEO is merit-based versus gate-kept by Google and just fitting into what the algorithms want, and then all of a sudden you have a top 10 ranking and you can hang out there for 5 years and suck up all the organic traffic. This is the Wild West. Anybody can rank on AI platforms. Anybody can get AI traffic. I want to back this up. I'm going to move over to the data collection section really quickly. So going back to our main classroom tab here, scroll down just a little bit, you'll see this module, data collection. Let's go to agencies and let's click this link. It'll open this spreadsheet up. For ChatGPT here, we ran let's just look at three separate queries. The first is, what is the best agency for Google PPC ads? The second is, can you recommend an agency for Facebook ads for a local restaurant? The third is there an agency that can help drive local gym memberships through SEO? So within the first query, we can look. These are the top recommended answers here that came up. The top three are all within the top 20 spots of Google. The bottom three are not within the top 100 spots, none of them. Going to the next query, you can see that of the top three answers, one is ranked in the third spot for this query, one is in spot 36, one isn't even in the top 100, and all of the bottom three are not in the top 100. The last one here, two of the top three are not in the top 100, two of the bottom three are not in the top 100. There's no real rhyme or reason to this, so Google Rank is not a focus of AEO. Now let's look at DA. Here again, the top DA or the top three sites all have strong DA ratings, really strong. The bottom three, pretty strong, pretty decent. But then we get to the next query. We got an 11 here in the top three. We have a 14 here in the bottom three. And then here, the number one most recommended answer only has a DA of 9. This one has a DA 1. So just hammering home the point that traditional SEO metrics don't always matter to Google. We're going to shoot another video on this, focusing on all of the standard metrics as far as referring domain count, total word count, total unique word count, number of indexed content pages, etc. But again, just hammering home the point that AEO is wide open. So the biggest takeaways here, number one, AEO is wide open. Google Rank doesn't matter. DA, DR doesn't matter. Number two, try to be a research citation by building up enough authority. Omni-channel brand presence and brand sentiment matter more than what you say or what you do on your own company website. Once you're a research citation, your chances of being a recommended branded answer go up exponentially. Number three, and I'm sorry I forgot to mention this earlier, but one of the things that we learned from this is, unlike Google Top 10 rankings, which have been pretty much set in stone for a long time, AI responds with a lot of different answers. Now, this can be viewed as a negative potentially, as far as if you're super well optimized, you're not going to get close to 80% of the clicks or the traffic or the visits. However, for smaller brands, brands with smaller marketing budgets, newer companies, companies without established websites, this is phenomenal news because everybody can compete. And as long as you can start breaking in, your mentions will go up consistently the more authority you build up. So again, it's wide open. Number four, we can learn a lot by just looking at the research citations to determine our strategy. What websites do we want to be on? What blog posts? What directories? What knowledge graphs even? Review sites, forums, whatever AI is citing as their source of information to determine the answers to queries, that's where we want to be. We're on a mission, everybody, to dominate AI traffic for the foreseeable future. And if you want to join us and learn everything you need to know in order to start getting AI traffic today, to dominate your competitors on AI platforms, join the AEO Collective. Thank you.